All right, Pashaparo, thank you for tuning. Widen at 7. And for those that's going to catch the replay, glad you're here as well. Welcome. Go ahead and, I'm really excited. This is a Virgo showing excitement. But I did a lot of research for y'all. Wanted to deliver the best quality I could to you and your family. So done a lot of upgrades, and I need y'all to bear with me during this shoot, because it's got some new stuff here that we're doing, and I just need to get acclimated with the flow, right? And then I can learn all this and it'll be much smoother in the future. So again, thank you for joining. Widen at 7, Pashaparo. And what we're going to get into today is, it's going to be dealing with joy. Okay? And the question I want you to have looping around in your head is, have you ever thrown joy away for love, desire, acceptance, etc.? Alright, so let's get into, for those that are new, you already know what we're going to do is we're going to look into etymology of the word joy. Then we're going to actually read up on the calibration of the word joy in the book Power vs. Force. I'll give you my opinions on stuff. I made some notes, and then we'll pull a tarot card and see how this all ties together. So if you enjoy the show or the presentation and you want your own tarot reading, just Google Pashaparo. Hit me up on any of the social media. It's all there for you when you Google me, and you can just inbox, and we'll go from there. All right. So, joy. What the etymology of the word joy here, as we have it before us, is 1200 approximately, and it's gladness, delight, joy, right? And then it spells out that it comes from the word rejoice. Okay? So let me get my notes out here. So now when you're looking at this, and you see that the word delight, okay? The word delight actually means please greatly, charm. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because the word charm, anytime you hear the word charm, you gotta kind of accept the vibration of magic, spells, enchantments, right? That's the attraction. That's the magnetism, the frequency that it's on. Now, joy all comes from rejoice, which means to own or possess. Okay? Rejoice actually means to own or possess. Remember, it's the magic, it's the spells, it's the law of attraction that we're dealing with in everything. Everything is energy. Alright. Give me a second. Let me find myself in the note. So then own, right? Own is belonging to oneself or own self. Excuse me. Or itself. And possess, to have, hold, to own. Right? So I kind of think that presents us with an opportunity where people are looking for joy, but they're not finding it because they don't realize you have to take ownership of what you want. If not, you're magnetically pulled. You're under someone else's spell. You think someone other than yourself has the charm, and you falling for them. Everything they say, right? Got you pulled out of space. Ain't that what happens? The magnetism pulled you out of place. Okay, we're gonna get into all that. I promise. I promise. So the word joy, right? Basically it's gonna break down to gladness, delight, and keep in mind rejoice. And then you need to know that delight is dealing with charms, magical spells, enchantments. Rejoice is to own or possess. And to own means belonging to oneself. So you are you gravity or are you in gravity? That might need to be the title. Are you joy? Are you gravity or are you in gravity? See, I like this. This is the fun stuff I get into. Because I don't call it free time because we're always invested in the future. All right? So, as a person, the reason why I invest etymology into others is because once we realize, we're all familiar with the law of attraction, right? A lot of us are. Basically, whatever we focus on, we attract. It works well in our minds until we find out, until we came to that point in our life where we found out if the words don't mean what we thought they mean, then we might be attracting something other than what we really think we want. Never mind what they're telling us in law. So, coming from an artist, I'm Pacha Pyro, by the way, that whose art involves the craft of words, the play on words. You need to be aware that I might find joy, you might find joy in being a wordsmith. And in that case, you got to know about these words. Alright, so we got the definition of joy, right? We see what frequency it's on, what vibration we banging out there. Okay? What was our question? Ever thrown away joy for love, desire, acceptance, etc., comma, etc., comma, comma. Right? So let's get into a book. Power versus Force. Let me get that in there for you. Dr. or whatever, David R. Hawkins. A series that this is on, been called Life Vibez. If you haven't seen the ones prior to this one, by all means, go subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Get the notifications. But more so, subscribe. And you can go back and watch the ones in the past at your leisure. You know, this free of charge for you. Just like we were to meet out and about. This is the stuff that you might have in that conversation when we meet on the square. You know what I'm saying? All right. So subscribe to the channel. Go back and watch the ones before. Like, you're gonna need to have the understanding of the presentation of love, the emotion love that I gave in the last video, to have the best grasp of what I'm pushing in this one. To have the best grasp. Not to say you won't get it. Not to say you don't already know what the video love talking about in your own way. But to have the best understanding of what we get ready to cover today, you're going to need that prerequisite. Holla. So look, let's get into it. From the book, Energy, level 540, right? Energy level 540 is joy. Okay? As love becomes more and more unconditional, it brings to be experienced as an inner joy. This is not the sudden joy of a pleasurable turn of events. It is a constant, it's a constant accompaniment to all activities. Joy arises from within each moment. See, I need y'all to really pay attention to this, you know, because it's in here. Let me get this out your way for y'all. Look, I need y'all to understand that joy arises from each moment of existence. Now, how many people around you, how many times in your past they find joy at the purchase, or maybe they frustrated at the purchase, right? At the first sight, at the gathering. But then once it's delivered, that's where they find their joy, right? Or some people be like, nah, I got it. Nah, I gotta make it mine. Let me install, right? So to install, what do? You gotta put them through training. Some people don't find joy in purchase, delivery, the installation. They find the joy in the training. Some people can't wait to get out of training because they gonna find their joy in the operation, in the labor, right? So some people then are like, yeah, I'm glad they all got it because I'm the only one that know how to work on it. They gonna find their joy in the maintenance, in the making sure it work. Some people gonna be like, alright, I see them over there, they making it, they doing it. I see them over there, they fixing it, they get it. You know what? I just want to be a part of the flow. I'ma find my joy in being the water, right? Some people gonna see that all that little, right? They gonna be like, damn, I don't give a fuck about the purchase. I don't care about no delivery. You know what? They got the install going, that training right. What? We got the work. We got the workers with the work. Man, we got the fixer. We got a couple fixers. We got some flow. We got the flow. You know what? You know what it all needs? It needs some power. Now, and notice, no, hold on, wait. Look. It needs the power, not the force, right? It needs the power, right? So they find their joy in making sure the whole thing stays powered, right? Now you got health and safety. Man, you gotta keep the health and safety of the body right. Some people gonna find their joy there in some way, shape, or form. Some people just be like, you know what goes up must come down. They gonna find their joy at the disposal. You see what I'm saying? Now what happens when one of your joys is really in a particular area here, but you too busy? What's the question? Hold on, give me a second. I told you we're gonna have some small hiccups, but this is right. It's always the perfect day. Look, the question is, have you ever thrown away joy for love, desire, acceptance? Right? You see where I'm at with this? Okay. I got off the book for a second. Let me gather things in here. Right, we can get rid of this. Let's go back to the book. See what I'm doing? See why I do this for y'all? I mean, it's fruit in the future. It's a seed today, right? All right, apply some water. So look, where are we at here? Joy arises from within each moment of existence, rather than from any external source. 540, which is that energy level, is also the level of healing and of spiritually based self-help groups. From level 540 and up is a domain of saints, spiritual healers, and advanced spiritual students. Characteristics of this energy field is the capacity for enormous patience and the persistence of a positive attitude in the face of prolonged adversity. The hallmark of this state is compassion. People who have attained this level have a notable effect on others. They are capable of a prolonged, open, visual gaze, which induces a state of love and peace. At the high 500s, the world one sees is illuminated by the exquisite beauty and perfection of creation. Everything happens effortlessly by synchronicity, and the world and everything in it is seen to be an expression of love and divinity. Individual will merges into divine will. A presence is felt whose power facilitates phenomena outside conventional expectations of reality. Termed miraculous by the ordinary observer. These phenomena represent the power of the energy field, not that of the individual. One's sense of responsibility for others at this level is of different quality from that shown at the lower levels. Now go back and watch the video on love. The one sense of responsibility for others at this level is of a different quality. And go back and watch the video on love and see why there you find it's a different grade. The desire, or there is a desire to use one's state of consciousness for the benefit of life itself rather than for the particular individuals. This capacity to love many people simultaneously is acquired by the the discovery that the more one loves, the more one can love. You gotta get the book, get the songs, share it live. In a second, still getting used to this shit. Some new shit here. I do it for y'all, so I appreciate your patience. Because what the two hardest tests on the spiritual road are the patience to wait for the right moment and the courage not to be disappointed with what we encounter. Have patience. Near-death experiences, categorically transformative in their effect, have frequently allowed people to experience the energy level between 540 and 600. So that's what the book has to say about joy, power versus force. David Hawkins. Now I showed you this earlier. How when you're not focused on your spells, your magic, right? Your enchantment. When you're not focused on you owning or possessing you, what you possess by, if we not possessed by you. Right? I need y'all to think about that. Just think about that for a second. Because again, if you're not in control, then someone or something magnetically has a hold. I need you to get yourself under control. Because until you under control, it don't make a fuck's difference who's in control around you. Because it's not going to help you. It's going to help them. And what I need, or what we need, is for us all to be in control. Think about that. Subscribe to the channel. It's content for the conscious consumer. And just share it with your peoples. Okay, so let me get into my notes, tell you what I thought about this a little bit. So that's why I came up with the topic. How many of us threw away joy? Hold on, let me give you a question. Don't do it too much. I'm trying to shuffle the cards, trying to talk to y'all. You know what I mean? Vibing and trying to push these buttons for you. But it's so much fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I appreciate you being with me here today. So the question is, have you ever thrown away joy for love, desire, acceptance? Which might mean you have to throw away love for your joy. Sometimes you gotta throw away desire to find your joy. Because sometimes you gotta throw away acceptance to find your joy. That's love. That's a different grade. Because in our last video, we found how love is intense, emotionally combining physical attraction, possessiveness, control, addiction, eroticism, and novelty. And the feeling waxes and wanes, varies on condition. But you know what y'all really want? I'm pretty sure it's what I want. And that's unconditional. What you really want is unconditional. You get turned off when that person's or that body's energy wax and wane, or you're attracted to the drama. Appreciate you being here with me today. So joy is when you own it. Alright? Joy is when you own it. And what do you gotta do when you own something? You gotta make the purchase. You gotta take delivery. You gotta oversee the install. Develop the training. Put the work in. Some of y'all make what you make today, not because of how long it takes you to do today's work, but because of how many years of work it took you to be able to do today's work in a day. Pasha Power 220. So you put the work in, you maintain it. You gotta know about flow before you can turn it up. You got your power versus force together. You really interested in the health of the body, for the safety of the body. You don't mind disposal because you know it's part of the total cost of ownership. Y'all with me? So it's always the perfect day. The book says joys come from each moment of the existence. And to me, that's the balance of the magic, the enchantment. If whatever we focus on we attract, then what is distraction? What is distraction? Right? It's distraction can only be, if we look at the stats, check out my stats, song, video. If we look at the stats, distraction can only occur during the times when you were not enjoying yourself. This is why people might look at you funny. This is why people, when you get to level 540, know that people are talking shit about you all the time, but you are enjoying it because you already know it's part of the cost of ownership of your life, of your destination, of your goals, of your dreams. You see, no matter what spot you are, what stage, no matter what grade you are in the cycle of the cost of ownership, there will be always the opportunity for opposition, right? Now, look at the magnets and look at the paper clips. They're in the glass, the paper clips, of, let's say, water. Even though we stick the magnets to the glass and they may move relatively quick, know that the water itself applied at least minimal resistance. It would be called drag if you were in a car, I guess. So you got at least, right? Okay, hold on. Let me find myself in my notes. I might be getting ahead of myself. So, the enchantment, right? The distraction gets you out of play. So, the water is going to apply at least its own drag. Now, some of y'all, or sometimes we feel like we're being drugged through the mud. And I need you to know, if you don't already, that mud is the drag of your enchantment. Getting to your enchantment. I need you to know you gotta go through it. Because you chose where you want to get to. And there's cost of ownership. So you gotta at least experience the drag, which means that you come to a fork in the road when you experience the drag of, is it going to defeat you or are you going to enjoy it? Right? You're gonna come to some mountains. Is the climb going to beat you? Or are you going to enjoy the obstacles because you know the satisfaction of the destination? You have to know this part of the joy is part of the success. If you look at this negatively or get tired, you're going to quit. You'll never make it. So at least if you want to do something in life, if you want to own something, at least be willing before you start to at least accept the drag. So it's a perfect day because you're exactly who you're supposed to be, exactly where you're supposed to be at the exact time you're supposed to be to become exactly who you're supposed to become. What's most important? Deciding for yourself or deciding who for yourself who you're supposed to be? Right? You gotta be in control of yourself. I think the reason many don't find joy is because of this right here. They're getting pulled out of space. Now, when you start to realize that you ain't gotta be letting Aladdin tell you what your options are, you can go and become your own genie. Become your own genie. That's the real you. Alright, so look, right? When you find joy, I need you to know, when you find joy, you're going to start to realize your own power. Whatever your power level may be, you embrace it. Where we are here, you embrace it. You make the purchase. You purchase your power. That's what you got. You know what I mean? You come in on a medium budget. You're gonna start with medium power. Wherever your purchase power got, that's what you purchase, and you gotta power up, right? And you take the delivery. You install that power in your life. Once you find joy, that's your purchase. And then you're going to have to accept the delivery, right? Install the power in your life. Now, then you got to train because you got new power, right? To you, it would be new power. So you got to train because it's just like hopping behind the wheel of 1,000 horsepower car. You used to drive a Honda Accord. You might want to train with your new power so you don't bang out from thinking like the old levels. It's gonna take a little work. Or maybe you had the Honda Accord Coupe 1999 and you gonna put the work in and power up to a McLaren, right? And you gonna then get the McLaren and do the maintenance to keep the flow going. You gotta give it power, health, safety, and when it's all done, it's all over with, you gotta be okay. You gotta be okay with the disposal. It's okay, let it go. It's time for the next purchase. Cost of ownership. We too busy pulled into someone else's ownership, wondering why we can't find joy. Without finding your own joy, you will always only grow someone else's power. Now, if there was any doubt in your mind in the beginning whether you were going to subscribe or not, this is the time you go ahead and push that button, click that bell, get your notifications, and make sure you front and center next time so you can help this spread. So I don't do titles. See what I'm saying? Because look, I just gave you the book. Power versus Force said at this level there's a desire to use one state of consciousness for the benefit of life itself rather than a particular individual. And this capacity to love many people simultaneously is accompanied by the discovery that the more one loves, the more one can love. So, when you do a title, you are accepting the cost of ownership of that title. Now, see, let me show you what I mean by this. You purchase that title. If you become a teacher, you purchase and you buy in to the thought of teaching. You accept that's gonna be your position. You install everything, the program that it's gonna take for you to do that. You accept that, you install that program into your life. You train. You put the work in. You put all the maintenance in. You keep the flow going of teaching. Right now, it's tons of teachers sitting at home, but they're doing what they can do, whether it's digital or what, to keep the flow of teaching going. They've been given whatever level of power, whatever access to power to make it happen. All in the thought of the health and safety of the body. And no matter how much they like showing up every day to that school, they were okay with the disposal of the concept that school must be held in a school for the health and safety of the body. Now, all of that you just thought of is based off of the title teaching or being a teacher. Anything outside of the program of being a teacher, you will feel as if that person should not be involved in because of the title of being a teacher. And if you haven't known before today, I need you to know right now that when you accept ownership of life itself, One category of the work, just the maintenance, just the work, just the operation labor of maintaining, of feeding the flow of life itself, of giving power to life, to bring in the safety and the health to the body. When you dispose, when you're okay with disposing the title itself, you will be able to put the same work in, to take the same cost of ownership for life itself. And when you do that, teaching will just be a very small part of the total amount of work that you put in on a daily basis. I need you to know that today. That's why I don't do titles. When you get to this level, you might have someone that's mad that you won't do their project for $200 when it's $1,000 project. The same way, you may have someone mad that you won't do their project for $2,000 when it's $1,000 project. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what is your joy, especially artists. Is it the money you're making? And I'm not just talking about musical artists or painters or whatever your art or craft is, which everything is. Everything, art is a science. So especially artists, whatever your art may be, is it the money you're making? Is it the fame and attention? Or is it the message you're delivering? No matter what it is, would you rather be the best at what's been done for the last 45 years, or the first to do what will be done for the next 45 years? I need you to sleep on that tonight. And when you awake Monday AM, your Monday motivation to yourself, your Monday motivation memes to the world. I want to see some YNet 7 in you. I want it to be about you finding your joy, your power. Remember that, mud. Your joy is the power to make it through. Let's see what these cards talking about. I do this for y'all. Okay, so here's the deck I'm going to pull from. I'm back. I don't know where I just went. I went there. You was with me though. Let's get to these cards right now. All right, so check that out. All right, respect. And if this is your first time to the show, you know, I'm really excited about the tarot cards. I know that's going to be a great tool in me helping many people. So I appreciate your patience. Now, I'm just starting this tarot stuff, but what I'm good at is interpretation of energy, and what I've mastered, or I'm mastering the one thing I'm mastering is the law of attraction, and it's the evolution, and these cards is gonna be the next tool that I have experienced in greatly, you know what I mean, in the future, and this will be a means of communication of energy. So me doing this with you guys now this way exercises it for me, helps me learn it all in much more detail, clarity, and I get better in time, like why, you know. All right, so let's see what we talking about here. Now, everybody that had a personal reading, I'll tell you, it really, their reactions, they were very impressed. From Jamaica to California, they got a personal reading, and I was excited. The one feedback I got that I was excited, actually from 2 different people, was that it felt not like a reading but like therapy, and that's the Pasha Power stamp, pow. You know what I mean? Come get your therapy. All right, so let's see what we're talking about here. Okay. 2. 1, 2. That's it. That's the card right here. So we got the Queen of Wands. Okay? Check that out. Give me a second here. So the Queen of Wands, right? First of all, check out the card. Right? So the Queen of Wands, I'm gonna read some notes while you check out the great beauty and detail. So the psychological characteristics, very impulsive and changeable, charming, temperamental, charming, very impulsive, right? Because the reason why you feeling very impulsive is because it's not your joy, and you're like this. Mine's over here. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna, you know, you're on a roller coaster, but it could be a part of your drag that you're on the roller coaster. You see, that's why you just always have to enjoy every moment. Check it. So, impulsive, charming, temperamental, the one who has strong intuition and creates intrigues just for own pleasure. Now look at that. This is why I do this. The answer to this, everything that we cover, is right here in this card's characteristic. Like, look. So, stop being. This is gonna to find your joy. You're gonna have to weigh this out. All right. Now watch this. Let's go back over it again. You're gonna have to. You're not in joy when you're very impulsive, right? And changeable. Your goal is here. You're here. You want to get it here, and you're like, "Oh, what's this over here?" And Oh, and ooh, ooh. And you're wondering why the shiny, sparkling thing you saw back this way. Everything that glitters ain't gold. Or was it everything that glitters ain't gold? GOAL. I don't know. All right, so look, right? And like I said, this how I be. I don't know about y'all spot, but when you come through or I come through, this is how we bust it up. So I'm not getting on here. This is how I do me. You know what I mean? I literally am the type of person that in the middle of a conversation might Google some shit on you to maintain accuracy, because that's how it's important to me, because of the health and safety of the body. Whatever I install affects y'all, so I need to make sure it's the right. I might, you know what I'm saying? I know you know somebody like this. I know you do. Alright, so look, right? The very impulsive are affected by everybody else's magnets. Then, watch this. Hold on, great. Hold on. Look. See? I'm so excited that y'all gonna be able to enjoy this a little better because of the way I can present it to you now. This is what I was envisioning when well, actually, you know, it's more, but I'm so excited about this exact moment, like I told y'all to do earlier, and how to find your joy. Alright. So, because y'all getting a better, the body's getting a better product. Alright, so you're being dragged through the mud regardless. Is it your mud you're being dragged through or someone else's? I need you to think about that for a moment while I get some of the most in-depth detail about this card for y'all. Alright. So we got that it's very impulsive, it's changeable, and that's what's dragging it through all these situations where it's meeting at least the resistance of drag, if not more, and they're wondering why they're not enjoying themselves. We've got that's all because of the charmingness, right, and the temperamentalness, and that was that. How I guess that equates exactly to how we talked earlier about how it's unstable, right? This right here, and when it was saying how the variety, right? So joy is when you own it all. Joy is unconditional through all of the variety, because what love is intense emotionally, all that physical attraction combined, possessiveness, control, addiction, eroticism, novelty, and the feeling waxes and wanes with varying conditions. And what you wanted that's this right here. Well, this way. See, that's that ride. The chumpiness, you jump, fall off, splash. Excuse me. Either you gotta just enjoy that as part of the rapids of the section on the river to your destination, or you just enjoy the drama itself. So the splash, fall out, get back in. That's all part of what you're enjoying anyway, because you enjoy the drama, or you just gonna be miserable. Either way, you're gonna get dragged through it like those paper clips. But what's most important for the Queen of Wands, is it your destination or someone else's? Is it your power you feeding or someone else's? And there might be times in life where you feeding someone else's power is part of feeding your greater power later on. So it's always the perfect day, right? It's always a perfect day. Let's get back to this card. So I like when it said the one who has strong intuition creates intrigues just for own pleasure. So that's not a combined sentence. It's two different meaning or associations with this card. So the card is the one who has strong intuition. Like when we spoke earlier, and it said that brings out the frequency to me of when we spoke earlier, and it said those who find the level of joy find their power. See, that's the one who has strong intuition, because you got to have the intuition to know that this is what's going on in your life, instead of what you want for yourself. You gotta have the strong intuition to break that magnetic field. And then part of that problem, like we talked about, is when you're creating intrigues just for own pleasure. That is the question of: are you going to take ownership? Are you going to step up and take ownership for life itself versus your individual title? And then the events associated with the Queen of Wands is actually great desire and fun intrigue. See, it's going to take great desire for you to break out of the quarantine of another individual to find your own destination. The question is, what's best for you? What's going to bring your joy? And this is not to say that it's always a case where somebody else may not know what's best for you. Haven't we all had something in the past where somebody tried to warn us to prevent from going through something we went through anyway? See, so you can't. So just think about that. Think about that. I ain't gonna tell you what you can't do. I'm gonna tell you what you should do, and you gonna pick your own magnet. So, fun intrigue, and that's where I was going back to the, let me get this out of here. Going back to the cost of ownership, right? You're gonna have to enjoy all of these dots, all of the points in this cycle, all of the levels, all of the different grades. You're gonna have to enjoy all the love. Not just love from certain titles. See? So in business, right? This card, typically a businesswoman, right? Perfectly adjusted. It could be so perfectly adjusted, which kind of makes sense, man. You know what I'm saying? It's about that fine tuning to find your joy, to get out of this frequency, like a radio station. You're gonna have to tune into a new frequency. It might be your frequency. It might be the frequency of another broadcast. But you're gonna have to tune out of the frequency that's got you all bent over like that there. Right? If you have ever thrown away your joy for love, desire, or acceptance, you might be tuned in to the wrong frequencies in life. You can Google Pasha Power right now. You can subscribe to all the YouTube channels. You can hit up me on Facebook and Instagram right now. Okay? That's how deep this energy is. It allows me to do stuff like this. Profitable business. That only makes sense because, again, if you ever thrown away joy of the business for love, for desire, or for acceptance, then you've thrown away your business. And there's no wonder why you're not finding no more joy in what you do. And when I say throwing something away, throwing joy away for love, desire, acceptance, put comma, etc., comma, etc., comma, etc. after that. Do that. So it says age can be 18 and more, and she thinks of, and this is comma, and she thinks of herself as a mature person. So going back to this, getting this off the screen for you. It's about maturity. What's your maturity level? Right? And before you think about that as a mental thing, which maybe the first thing that comes to mind, but it's also a term used in stocks and bonds and stuff like that. Money's involved. Has it reached its maturity? What level is it in the process? What grade is it? Now you see love is a different grade. And what happens is your joy is either in a certain level of the cost of ownership of your joy, of your destination. So now you understand why you'll find love, quote unquote, as you're using it incorrectly as a verb instead of a noun. But you wind up ending it saying y'all on two totally different levels in life. It's because that's what love is. Now I need more people to accept ownership of life itself. So like can attract like and we can be on the same frequency. But then again, I don't need any more because it's always the perfect day and there are different group levels to the cost of ownership. So all you need to do is when you do find that title that brings you joy, know that your ultimately your position is in support of the ownership of life itself. Then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Right? That's why I don't even music is the listen to it. Hear what it's saying. You know, purchase it. Take delivery. Install. Now once you get it installed and it's working, you gotta train with it. Right? I can't speak for other artists. That I can't do. I can't speak for the other artists. But for my music, right, you may need to train a little bit. After you install it. It might take some work. You might be on a level, you might be at the grade where it might take some work from you to maintain connection with me and what level I'm on, what frequency I vibe to. You gotta let it flow. Because if you block the flow, you kill your own power. Not mine. Because if you let it flow through you, it's going to charge you up with power. It's going to give you the power to be healthy and safe. And be okay the whole process completely to disposal, the death, the end of the life cycle, because you're listening to the total cost of ownership of life itself. I don't do titles. Let's get back into this card because it's bringing out the connection I think somebody out there needs. Inshallah. So, check your maturity. Queen of Wands. You might need to check your maturity. Or, and that's not to say that, you know, there's something wrong with you. You're at the level, we are all at the level we are supposed to be at this exact moment to become who we're supposed to become. So enjoy it. But check the level so you know what level you are. So you know if you even should, that you should connect. Or that what you might feel like there's something wrong with, there's nothing wrong with, they're just on a different level. And that really don't make you might not be in a better situation. So you might need to just understand your feelings. They're trying to tell you something. So tempestuous without in relationships, right? This could be without preliminary schemes, not adjusted. Everything is perfectly beautiful, worthy opponent, right? What magnet you tuned into? What frequency you with? Health, strong, but not preserving. You see? Because if you have, look, health, strong, but not preserving, because you may not be owning life. You might be owning something else. That's why you're not living. I want you to live. Go through the mud. Feel the drag. Take a drag. Wordplay. You see what I'm saying? Don't quit. And then, so the advice from this card is act quick according to the situation. Well, I mean, it's I think you're in quarantine right now. Is this not a good time to act on it? You where you want to be in life? So the warning is to avoid things that are hard to foresee. And if you are not steering your own ship, what's harder for you to foresee than where you gonna end up? Queen of Wands. You gotta be so grateful that this card wanted to come out and say hi to y'all today for the conversation about joy. Look, she got the flowers, right? Let's take a look at this card, because the result of this card is the creative solution of domestic situations. This card, you want to know where your joy is? Queen of Wands. Creative solution of domestic situations. That's why she popped out. Hey. Now, just looking at the card real quick, I like art. This is, let me get it in focus for you. So I don't know if you can see that detail, but look, what I want to point out is this is the plant she's tending to right now, and she's tending to it up high. Because it's strong. The seed she planted, or the seed that was planted, grew strong with the focus on life itself. But here's what I want you to notice. The staff is placed in the ground, meaning that she knew this is the flower she wanted / needed to tend to. So when she arrived to this flower, she knew she was at her destination. So she put her staff in the ground. I'm Pasha Pyro. This is YNet7. Thank you for tuning. If you're catching the replay, you know what? We're not going to do a crystal card today. That was the energy you needed right there. So thank you for tuning in the replay. Share the live. Go ahead and subscribe. Alright? Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. Queen of Wands. Get in control of yourself. Peace.
That ain't the real you. I know the real you. Why you being so artificial? To brief you, let's hover through the city on a new drone. I'm really trying to get you out of neutral, cause things are going nuclear. I'm in barrel, this surface to the air coming in town. Ain't nothing really promised but right now. And things are going nuclear. Cause I'm not man-made. No, I'm not, no, I'm not, no, I'm not man-made, 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 man-made. Man-made. And I know the real you, the real you. You know the real you. I know the real you. So confidential.